A newly published study finds that fully 1/3 of all teenagers visiting emergency rooms were assessed as suicide risks. It's an amazing number, but if you know the bigger number, it's maybe not that surprising. Suicide and suicide attempts are rising rapidly among young people, along with depression and many other mental ailments. The dramatic surge in suicides coincides closely, and you can graph it out, with the rise of social media and the ubiquity of smartphones. Are they related? And if they are related, as they appear to be, why aren't lawmakers doing something about it right now? Tom Kersting is a family therapist, author of the book Disconnected, How to Reconnect Our Digitally Distracted Kids, and we're glad to have him tonight. Tom, thanks very much for coming on. So this seems like 1/3 of kids being admitted to emergency rooms are believed to be at risk for suicide. I don't know what to say about that number. Are you surprised by it?
It's frightening. I actually am surprised by it. I didn't think it was that bad. I want to explain why, okay? So when you look at pre-adolescence and adolescence, that's an important developmental stage, okay? Your hormones are changing. You're trying to figure out who you are, where you fit in, who your friend group is. It's a built-in sort of insecurity. It's an important transition into adulthood, okay? And it's something that kids need to navigate in order to grow and learn and become sufficient adults. Now, you add to the equation what I call the modern-day weapons of mass destruction, these smartphones, with all of the social media, and now these kids have a platform where they're constantly comparing themselves to others, where they're constantly getting feedback or seeking feedback from the outside world, and it's compromising their self-esteem. Because self-esteem, which is how you feel about yourself, your happiness and your joy, is never anything that can be gotten from the outside world. It can only come from the inside. It's an inside-out thing, not an outside-in thing.
So why isn't there a national conversation about what to do about this? Why are we sitting passively back? Why aren't lawmakers? I mean, if these were cigarettes, we'd have a lot of florid-faced members of Congress yelling in hearings, but nobody says a word. Why?
And what's fascinating, too, Tucker, I lecture on this topic all the time, the average age of smartphone issuance is 10.3 years old. So we can ask any parent, anybody watching right now, they know, we all know that's just a terrible idea. But that's the average age. And it's basically where we tend to do what everybody else around us is doing. And I think what we're going to see, I think we're going to have to see lawmakers step in and start having rules, like with cigarette smoking. Maybe if I was in control of this, I wouldn't allow kids to have smartphones until they were 18 years old, if I was the guy that got to make that decision.
I'd ban it tomorrow. I couldn't agree more. But that's a radical position. Ignoring it, 1/3 of preteens admitted to emergency rooms are liable to commit suicide. That's not a crisis?
That's a crisis.
So it's radical. It is a crisis.
Yeah, so 2007
is enough studying being done of this?
There is studies that are coming out right now, okay, that are starting to show a correlation between all of the anxiety disorders, the depressions that we're seeing in unprecedented numbers. The actual age in which kids are now committing suicide is going down. It's going earlier and earlier. And it coincides with the rise starting in 2007. And guess what also started happening right around 2007? That's when smartphones started coming out. That's when everybody started having all of their social media right in their pockets, in the palms of their hands. And our kids are getting lost in this superficial world, and are losing sight of the real world and themselves.
It's amazing that, I mean, in 1964, it was very controversial, the Surgeon General's warning on packs of cigarettes. People said, well, it's not really established. You really feel like we're there right now. There are people who say, well, we don't really know, and it's blindingly obvious what's happening.
It really is. And, you look at big tech. I mean, the tech industry has a tremendous amount of power. And they have, their goal is to get eyeballs as long as possible on their products. And they want to recruit these individuals when they're young. And 10 years old, think about that. 10.3 years old is the average age that kids are getting smartphones. That's absolutely crazy.
Well, I hope they're sleeping well, the people who are selling this garbage. Tom, thank you very much.
Thank you, Tucker. Good seeing you.